You see on the former president who has criticized the Electoral Commission for the delay in furnishing political parties with the electoral roll, saying that with 34 or 33 days to the general elections, it leaves little time for the parties to scrutinize the register. The minority in Parliament had already raised the concerns, and the Commission is yet to respond to the concerns. But addressing a delegation of EU ambassadors at his office in Accra earlier, the NDC flag bearer said the country is bearing the brunt of what he describes as the EC's incompetence.
A lot of things have been happening, especially in the lead up to the election. But in our country, we have a problem with the Electoral Commission. I'll talk about the economy later. But there have been incidents leading up to the election that creates a certain anxiety about whether the election is going to be transparent, free and fair, and whether it's going to be devoid of, any chaos or disorder. And we want you to take note of it. The Commission has failed to follow due process. In some cases, even the legal, provisions, they've failed to follow it. In other cases, they've introduced new things into the electoral process too late and too close to an election, and we're beginning to suffer the results of that. A late registration of voters has led to late exhibition, omission of names. It gives us very little time to correct before we go into the election. And I'll just give an example. They announced that they've taken 30,000 names out of the register, after going through the register. They haven't published the names, and so we don't know whose names have been taken off. People are going to get there on election day, and they say your name is not in the register. And there might be a genuine reason why they should be on the register. We've not been told, who those people are, why their names have been taken off. A lot of things have gone wrong. We filed nominations with a provisional register. It's never happened in this country, where you file nominations for presidential and parliamentary using a provisional register. And it's even after we filed that they said 30,000 names have been taken out. And so if a voter, who believes he was registered, signed my presidential nomination form and you've now taken his name out, it means that my form, Yes. So a lot of things have gone wrong, in terms of the processes, but also in terms of the violence associated with the processes. You remember the by-election we had last year, which led to, quite serious harm to many individuals. The pronouncements of government officials, that by-election violence was a dress rehearsal, and that the real thing is going to happen on 7th December. Commission of inquiry was set up, identified the perpetrators of that violence. Government rejected the Commission's report. Most of the Commission's report refused to act. The same characters who were involved in that violence are today walking around still carrying the same weapons that they used to cause that violence. It manifested again during the registration period. People lost their lives, gunshot wounds, stabbing. About 3 people were killed during the registration.